Segment 3, Gold and Black Live, joined by Jared Thomas and Jeff McKean, two names that may not be household words in the Purdue athletic sphere, but they're going to be, as both these gentlemen are working hard with the new world of college athletics, and of course this Purdue Collective and the Boilermaker Alliance, and working tirelessly. I think we all are by definition this morning, just after the game last night. Now this is a show we got to talk a little bit of football, and Jeff, I'll start with you. A great atmosphere in Ross-Ade Stadium, a great day for you guys yesterday with Drew Brees, et cetera, but a disappointing finish. But maybe some things to build on as we look at this a few hours after the fact.
Yeah, absolutely. You're not going to replace George Karlaftis and David Bell immediately. And we saw that last night. What Karlaftis meant to the team in terms of disruption, we just didn't have. So, but there's a lot to build on. As I was walking out of the stadium last night, I remember sitting in a game pre-Jeff Brom, and we played Michigan State competitively,
Yeah.
And walking out, and we ended up losing in the end by a touchdown or two, and felt good just because we kind of hung around the game. We took Penn State, to the line there and really had them for a while. So we're going to be competitive. We're going to be good. We're going to have a winning season. We're going to go to a bowl. Sure would have been nice to get that one last night, but there's a lot to build on. I think Aiden will probably be a little more accurate maybe next time we see him. So there's a lot. It's going to be a pretty good football team. I'm excited.
Yeah, Jared, we mentioned about winning 56 minutes of the game and losing 4, and Kyle Charter's tweet that pretty much sums it up.
I really think so. Yeah. You got to focus on the positives. I think there's a lot of good that came out of that. The defense looked stout for the vast majority of the game. How about Charlie Jones too?
Yeah. Wow.
So good to see that kind of productivity out of a new guy. Said he wanted to play in a passing offense, and I think Jeff welcomed him with open arms. So
yeah,
it was good to see.
Terrific from that statement. All right, you guys, it's a good segue in terms of looking for positive things and positive developments. Boilermaker Alliance. Jeff, you got to give our audience, just because for people that have no idea what this is about, give us the 30-second, which is almost impossible to do, but the elevator speech of what the Boilermaker Alliance is about, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'll tell you, it is hard to do in 30 seconds. But as people may realize by now, a group like ours, what often is referred to as a collective, we like to think we're really just a charitable foundation. But a group like that has to be outside and independent of the university. So we began several months ago putting together the basis and the foundation for what we needed. And we've spent several months doing that. I think within the last month, the foundation's been completed, and then you've started to see more publicly some of the things that we had always envisioned. Essentially, we built a model that we refer to as a charitable foundation collective model. And very simply, what we do is we gather a pool of money from generous donors, Purdue boosters, Purdue alumni, gather the money together. We partner with really high quality charities. We take those charities, we match them up with athletes, and the athletes work on behalf of the charities, promoting their causes, personal appearances. A lot of this is going to be working with kids, mentoring for the charities, things like that. And then we compensate the athletes for those services. They work very hard to build their skills and gain name, image, and likeness for their brand. We compensate them for helping and assisting the charities, and really increasing the platform and the value of the charitable cause. And I think we heard yesterday, Rayfield Davis talked about a situation with his charity up in Fort Wayne, where we brought Fletcher Lawyer and Caleb First involved in that, and we were able to triple their income over last year on a fundraiser. That's the type of thing that we're trying to do with the Boilermaker Alliance.
It's interesting. It's really the ultimate goal is win-win situation. You are trying to put yourself in that role and that mode as much as possible. Jared is the director of operations and engagement. Building a brand is an important thing here, and we watched the Zach Eady video and the job that you guys did on that. The thing that's impressed me, even at yesterday's Thursday's press conference with Drew Brees, is just the fact that you're putting together a first-class presentation organization. You've been able to put together a group of not only good PR folks, but people that know what they're doing and putting Purdue's best foot forward. Even though you're not officially, you're not an official part of Purdue University, there's a lot in that image that you got to be able to bring forward.
Yeah, it's been a challenge, I think, to out the gate with a lot of the negative connotations surrounding the name, image, and likeness space, and we really wanted to make a statement with Zach in particular as one of our marquee athletes. So he was a big part of helping us to build that brand, and some of the stuff we were able to do with him in Canada. I think you'll still see some stuff coming out because the organizations that he was partnered with have their own videos that I've now seen a rough draft of. So those will probably go live here within the next week or so. And those organizations were so thrilled with Zach. Most importantly, he recommended those organizations to us as ones he had adopted. He and his mom 3 pets from the Toronto Humane Society. He had made a personal donation to ITK, the Inuit tribe organization that we partnered with. And CCYAA is a place he had gone and met Jeremy Lin in the past. So via his agent who reached out to us, and we didn't know how that kind of relationship would work, and his agent was phenomenal in helping us set up those partnerships with the charities. I don't know that we would have been able to do it without him. And it was just a really positive thing all around. I think Zach really enjoyed the experience. The charities really enjoyed having Zach, and I think everyone can see from watching that video just kind of how powerful this can be and how excited folks are to have Purdue athletes representing their brands and their organizations and helping them amplify their voices.
Jeff, and I think well said, certainly Jared, but Jeff, the notion you talked about in the Thursday press conference, just about the text that you got from the volleyball student athlete about that, and I think that's one thing that's good, is the 18 to 22-year-olds. There's a lot of philanthropic bent to them. I think they see that, and I think that's an important thing that you can capitalize on it. Sometimes they get criticized for being certain ways, but that's one thing that I think that age group really ties into, and you've seen that already.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. We had an example. We spoke to the entire men's basketball team the other day. And following that, we were speaking with an administrator who was sitting by one of the players, and he kind of asked him, towards the end of our presentation, what do you think? And this kid was so focused on, this is a big deal. I've got to pick just the right charity. I've got to give this a lot of thought. I want this to be really, really meaningful. And you love to see that. And we can help. We've got a lot of people who have been down the road. Our organization, I wouldn't say the roots of it, but a lot of the folks involved with what we're doing have been involved with a group in Indianapolis called the Boilermaker Business Exchange. And there's a lot of capabilities there. There's a lot of networking. And again, we're in no way, Boilermaker Alliance is in no way related to the Boilermaker Business Exchange, but there's a lot of overlap of people. So we can pull those resources, those networking resources. I talked to Jayla Smith yesterday about some things and what she wants to do. She wants to be an entrepreneur, wants to start her own business. She actually lives in Lawrence Township where I live. And we've got a lot of common friends. So she and I talked about some things that we can do. And I'm excited to get her involved in things. And I think we're going to see that over and over again. That's what a big part of this is relationships and community. And that's going to help. It's going to make it better for all of Purdue, I think.
Yeah, Jayla did a good job on Thursday of representing all the student athletes, and as a Purdue women's basketball player, you could just see that as they all marched up there, that feeling that, I don't think this all stems from. Yes, money is part of this, and the ability to use your name, image, and likeness to better your own personal situation. But again, it was impressive that the way that they take it upon themselves and take it very seriously. And I think you're going to see that. That seems to be a little bit in the Purdue fabric of the kind of kids that come to Purdue in the first place. And I think that gives you a lot of opportunity to do well. Jared, Ray Davis also gave a very compelling and different reason for why this is important. And at Thursday's press conference, in terms of the ability of underprivileged kids the difference between kids that can afford to pay $400 to go to a Purdue basketball camp, but and the many kids that are in his neighborhood that he grew up in that can't. And the role that the Boilermaker Business Exchange and name, image, and likeness opportunities from a charitable standpoint can help. Ray's been is really a sharp guy and a guy that's going places in a lot of ways. But what's been your impressions of working with him?
We can't say enough good things about Ray Davis. Being at that fundraiser in Fort Wayne was it was emotional. It was inspiring, and we kind of gave you the short version yesterday, and we had a chance to hear him talk on that for 45 minutes at his fundraiser, and it was dead silent in the room, and everyone was just hanging on his every word. So passionate about what he's doing. So what a perfect first charity for us to partner with, because it's just a bunch of Purdue folks in the room, and it was a powerful message, and it's a powerful organization. We can't wait to see where Ray goes, but just a perfect partner for us, and exactly the kind of initiative and momentum that we're trying to generate in the theory of everybody wins. So you bring us, you get us involved, we get to have Caleb and Fletch show up, and they did a great job working the room and helping advertise the fundraiser on their social media leading up to it. It was kind of just the perfect storm of a representation of what we want to be and what we hope to accomplish over the long term.
Yeah, and again, it's hard to minimize that experience for those guys growing up. That this is just extremely. All three of us know about the value of college and what you learn there what opportunities you can make there can really pay off. And that seems to be a big message you guys are trying to bring forward. Jeff, you and I have talked over the last couple months, but the continuum of when this all started. And it was almost a percentage thing of changing hearts and minds and realizing this isn't the evil empire necessarily. Again, this is a thing where it can be a positive. But talk about that evolution over time and just people in your sphere from a business standpoint, but also associates that you've had to make sure that they understand what this is about and the reality of what it is and how it works and how that percentage seems to have grown each week. Everybody, you went from maybe 80% detractors, and now you're at a level that maybe has been totally switched from that standpoint.
Absolutely, couldn't agree more. And we understand that. I'll be honest, we have been there. Most of my really close friends have been there, and a lot still are. I had that conversation at my tailgate with some guys about my age yesterday, where they started out with the super negative, and we know that this is a bit of an acquired taste. It's going to take some time, and like I said, we've been there and gone through that, so we fully understand. What I tell people is keep an open mind. What we've tried to do is look at the landscape as it currently exists, and what can we do, and what sort of program and model can we roll out that will be most effective for the university that we all love. And we think we have that model, and we have a vision and some goals, and we think we're moving down that continuum. If people will just hang in there, let it develop. I think what we heard from Drew yesterday, and what we've really focused on, once you see more and more examples of what Ray Davis talked about, and we were able to do there, we want to show people that this is real. And if people will just keep an open mind and wait for us. I think obviously yesterday was really important because people know that Drew Brees takes his brand seriously, as he should. And that we believe will provide some credibility for us to see that Drew has bought into what we're doing, and a lot of other great people. You look at the advisory board that's recently been rolled out, a lot of great names on there. So hopefully people will just hang in there with us and let the process develop a little bit.
Yeah, that list announced yesterday includes the likes of not only Adam Schenk, the outstanding PGA golfer to Jim Everett to Aiken Adele, and you can't find a better person than Aiken Adele, at least in my experience, and a guy that gives more credibility to things and a lot of these guys are used to doing this type of stuff. Certainly Aiken Adele is, with all the work he's doing in Texas and around the world, is extremely valuable, one would think, as you guys move forward.
Aiken, he was one of the first people we talked to, really big on mentorship programs.
Yeah.
That's where and Aiken's another one that wants to be significantly involved in a real way. And we've got some ideas, and we're hoping that advisory board, those are guys that have been through it a little bit, and people that, our student athletes and others will listen to. They've been down the road. We're hoping that can be really powerful in terms of mentorship, leadership, those sorts of things.
Jared, after a short night of rest, you want to think about the next 90 minutes and not the next 90 days. I get that. But tell me what's going to be coming down the pike. What are the things you're focusing on most on from your role? Again, building that image and being able to get that message out there, I know is a big part of that. But tell me what is on your primary focus over the next 2 to 3 months.
It's been a fast and furious first 2 months with this organization. Everyone's working hard, and we've had one date after the next. So it was, the Fort Wayne fundraiser on the 3rd, and we had a fundraiser on the 24th, and then it was all hands on deck to get ready for the 1st. So this is the first time since I joined the organization that we don't have a firm date that's 7 days out that we're going to be sprinting towards. So now it comes about the logistical work. There's a lot of legwork that's going to go into making sure that we partner these athletes with charities that they're actually passionate for. We don't want anyone to kind of go through the motions. And as Jeff mentioned earlier, almost all of these athletes that we've spoken to have charities that they're super excited about. And one of my primary jobs will be reaching out to those charities and bringing them on board as a partner. That will probably be the easiest part of my job, because we have not talked to a charity yet that is not so moved by what we're offering them. And those conversations are one of the best parts of my day every day, because I reach out to these charities and they're kind of overwhelmed. One of them didn't understand at first that they were like, oh, we'd love to be a part of this. We'll try to scrape the funds together in our marketing budget to make this a reality. And I said, no, it's not like that. We are providing you these athletes to help you amplify your marketing efforts. And they were very, very moved by that. So that'll be one of the easier aspects. The next is, rolling out the contracts we have a very ambitious plan. 385 athletes is not a small number. And one of the biggest things we have to do now is, like I said, partner the athletes with the right charities, but make sure we're reaching out to 385 athletes and kind of setting in stone the plan moving forward for how we want to roll that out, how we want to manage the logistical side of it.
Yeah, West Point graduate in 2012, 6 years as a cavalry officer. This is a piece of cake, right? From that standpoint,
it's the most fun I've ever had.
All right, that's good. That's of course Jared's background before he joined this group, and that will bode well and keep it all in perspective about what you're trying to get done.
Alan, if you would allow me, if I could just step in for a second, because
by all means.
I wanted to do this yesterday in the press conference, and we just didn't have time. I'd like to talk about Jared just a little bit. The find that we've made in Jared. So you say West Point grad, but he's a Boilermaker through and through. Yeah. Both Jared's parents were Purdue Boilermakers, graduated from Purdue, grew up in Lafayette, as much of a Boilermaker as I am or you are or anybody else. But, went to West Point, graduated from West Point a decade ago, served in Iraq, went to law school, graduated from law school, worked in the athletic department, wants to get involved in some sort of sports law or whatever, but came on board with us. And what a tremendous find. He's got the passion. I can guarantee, and this is no hyperbole, over the last 3 or 4 days, he's worked probably 15 to 17 hours each day. And the amount of work that Jared has done for us and the quality of that work, the Zach Eady stuff up in Canada was all Jared. And we're just, as a board, top to bottom, so thrilled with everything he's done. We just couldn't be more appreciative. So I just want to say that publicly. What a wonderful find. The Boilermaker Alliance is lucky to have Drew Brees on board. We're lucky to have Jared on board and about 15 other really great executive board members that we have. So I just wanted to state that publicly.
Yeah, well, thanks for adding that in, and certainly, you're going to have your hands full, and on just being able to kind of corral this and keep yourself focused on the what you need to get done. Tell me about the Drew Brees experience, though, and having him in. Again, we talked a little bit about that, but I don't know, Jared, how much time you've spent around him in the past, but just what that means to, and I asked him in the press conference about, well, what is your financial commitment? Obviously, that's something that he can do as well, but from a logistic and administrative and from a connecting folks, it's hard to beat a guy. Hard to find a guy better than Drew Brees from that perspective.
Somebody said to me leading into our Zoom call with him, where we had the entire board of directors on, these are a lot of very successful people who were Purdue fans first. By the way, I want to reciprocate that and just say that we were all Purdue fans first, and we were trying to step up and do something. And the person that said that was spot on. He came in, and the questions that he had from spending some time with this, he did his research. Just so brilliant. Really, Jeff and I joke all the time that if somebody mentions a what if in the name, image, likeness space right now, with how much time we live and breathe this every day, it's usually kind of surprising to us. And Drew brought up 3 or 4 things that were all just really, really sharp and intuitive questions and ideas for kind of initiatives for the organization moving forward. I don't want to slight Drew Brees at all, but yesterday, I was so busy yesterday. He came up to me and he said, he goes, "You must be Jared. I recognized you from the Zoom call, and I know how much work you're doing for the organization." And it was an hour later that I was finally able to sit there and kind of let it sink in that the guy that I watched as a 10-year-old knew my name and recognized me from a Zoom call. And I think that says more about Drew than it does about me. But I was busy at the time. Just to have that guy that is so involved with us and so passionate about what we're doing, that he's remembering names and faces from a Zoom that we had, I think, 15 people on. And the last thing I'll say about Drew is just the passion for the student athlete reigns supreme for him. Every single thing that he wants to do with us is based on building better student athletes, helping them grow and develop and become leaders of character. And it's just been really powerful to watch. We're thrilled to have him.
Yeah, he made that very clear, even in answering questions or not dodging them, but even my question about the finances, he focused on that, and that's organic for him. I don't think there's any question about that. All right, Jeff, last question as we look ahead. There's been this also with the Boilermaker Alliance. I mean, there's been in the last couple of weeks, some, a football collective there has shown up, but also Aiden O'Connell and others are doing things outside of this. That doesn't have anything really. I mean, Aiden O'Connell doing the thing with Bob Rorman, et cetera. That's just one example. Doesn't have an impact on that necessarily. The guys are still free to go out and do what they need to do outside of what you guys are trying to bring to the fore.
Absolutely. And we say from the very beginning, we are fully supportive of those efforts. I love the karaoke commercial last night. Thursday at the stadium. It was tremendous. I thought, no, that's a different realm. Those are generally for-profit situations where companies are hiring guys to do work on their behalf and or other sort of for-profit. We're in the charitable model. We're going to do what we do well, fully support those types of things. In fact, because we're so immersed in this, we get a lot of those calls and we help facilitate. We pass that information along to Jack Gallagher, who's working on behalf of the university. We're working cooperatively. If someone comes to him that may be a better fit for us, he does the same. So we're back and forth on that and fully support anything the athletes can do to help improve their name, image, and likeness and compensation. We're all in favor of.
All right, guys. Hey, we're grateful for your time. I know we're just kind of scratching the surface on this. This will be a story that we'll continue to visit because it is important to, obviously, to something as you've said that you guys want, that the fan base wants, and that's for Purdue to be successful in this environment. And it's an ever-changing environment. We all understand that as well. So, guys, thanks again for your time, and especially after a short night, we're grateful for that as well. I want to thank our sponsors, XXX, On the Hill, but on the level, the Purdue tradition since 1929. Jeff McKean and I, and probably Jared have been there a time or two over the years. And those late nights at Triple X are a good thing. But also State Farm agent Trent Johnson at trentismyagent.com. The good folks at WLFI, Gordon Jackson, Mary Truax, and others for making this happen. We're appreciative of that. If you've missed part of the show, we'll replay it. You can watch it from now till the end of time. You guys will be Jared, you'll be able to have your grandkids watch this someday and see you at this point. But we appreciate the opportunity that we'll also put this up on YouTube as well, because it's really an interesting study of what is going on and what will be going on down the road. So we'll look forward to our show next week, which will be September 9th, leading into the Purdue Indiana State game. More fascinating guests. I don't know if we'll beat this week in terms of that, but we'll have some fun doing that. So have a great week, everybody. Thank you for your time, and look forward to our next show on Gold and Black Live.